Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Starknet Espresso. Today, we have a very important guest in our midst, Darlington. Darlington is the co-founder of Horus Labs, and he's here to discuss their latest product, Tokenbound Accounts, which just launched recently. We'll be going through what the project is all about and how it's shaping the world of Web3 today. And we are super happy to have him on the show with us. Thank you very much, Darlington, for joining us today on Starknet Espresso. It's such a pleasure to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It's an honor. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, for our audience who don't know you yet, can you start with introducing yourself? Just share a little bit about your background and how you go into Web3 as a whole.
Okay, sure, no problem. So, hello guys, my name is Darlington, and I am the co-founder of Horus Labs, and you probably also know me as a part of like the Starknet Africa team. My journey into Web3. Okay, I think it's okay. My general programming journey started somewhere between 2018, 2019. I started with web development and stuff. Did that for a while. 2020, COVID-19, my friend introduced me to crypto basically through like what's it called? I think it was this MLM schemes, the Lion Share for Sarge and the rest, and of course, though I lost money, I think it was an amazing experience, and because that was what introduced me to crypto, and I had decided to take out my time to like really check out Ethereum and stuff. 2021, I decided to finally like start my blockchain engineering journey. Started with Solidity, which I guess is like the default for most persons in space
Yeah.
currently. Did Solidity for most of 2021 and 2022. I was looking to like do something more. Okay, I think by then I had landed a job in like a blockchain engineering company in Lagos, and I was working as a junior blockchain engineer. Then I think towards the should have been towards the end of first quarter of 2022. That was the first time I encountered something called zero knowledge proof, right? And I didn't really understand what it was, but it sounded cool, right? And there was this ongoing bootcamp by I think that was Harmony. It was called Zero Knowledge University. And I decided to register and I got in, and it was pretty much like should have probably been like the worst 8 weeks of my life, right? Because it was the curriculum was crazy. And
Yeah.
somehow I managed to scale through, right? And I think we started about 450. We about I don't know 34 to 37, not graduated.
Wow.
And I think that was how my journey into the ZK space started. At that point, I was pretty much fascinated with this kind of stuff, right? Of course, like your maths, which everyone was scared about, but I think I really found it fun at that point. I think towards the should have been June, July, uh, because for ZKU we're doing like very low level stuff, second and the rest. Then
Yeah.
towards I think June, July, that was when I heard about Cairo. Uh, I think it was through like another bootcamp, but then it was by Codes, also a Ziki bootcamp, right? And I can remember very clearly when Cairo was introduced, right? And I was like, um, I think it was Cairo was difficult, right? But I think while Cairo seemed like a lot easier than the second we used to write because I mean we
Yeah.
had you could actually write it, use it to write provable programs, right? And I think I really found Cairo very fascinating, and yeah, I decided to start writing about it. At that point, I was really not very like into the Starknet ecosystem, and I decided okay, learning because I know learning it was so much hell, right? Both I and my team members at that point we were really struggling with like learning stuff from the documentation. And I decided, okay, we need to like all right, let me pretty much document my journey. I think I started this series then that was called like Journey Through Cairo, something like that, right? And I started writing, and I think that was how I met Louis. Louis was then was like the head of ecosystem at Starkware, and we hopped on the call and we talked, and I think that was how I got pushed into like the Starknet ecosystem. And I think those fights been pretty much amazing. I think towards the end of that year, I landed a role with Argent. I was with Argent for like about I think about a year, 7 months, and I quit sometime in May. And yeah, currently I'm building Horus Labs, and yeah, I think that's a brief like summary of my journey thus far. Yeah.
That's it's a really interesting what would you say journey so far that you've had. I don't know if you remember, like prior to I joined Starknet, that was last day, and I was assigned to you as a mentee. I'm not sure how I'm not sure
Oh,
how well that went. Yeah, but here we are.
Yeah, I did do a very good job as as a
I
mentor,
don't.
because I think that period that period I was going through like a lot. Yeah, it was my final year in school. I think that was earlier this year actually. Yeah, it was my final year in school, and I had a lot of carryovers and I had to clear that, and yeah, it was a pretty much tough period
I
for
don't
me. Yeah,
think I
but
don't think I
I
was a good
definitely
student
remember.
either.
Yeah,
But yeah, thank you. Here we are now. At least it turned out well for everybody, I guess. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yes.
yeah, Horus Lab. What is Horus Lab all about, and what inspired it, and how well is it going at the moment?
Uh, okay, so I think my journey to starting Horus Labs was pretty much not very straightforward, because like I said, by May I had decided I want to quit my job at Argent, and that was because at that point I was looking to venture into learning ZKML. I was really like in love articles, and I thought ZKML was really cool as zero knowledge machine learning. And I had like a final year. My final year project in school was AI machine learning related, and I think I wanted to like explore more of that area, right? And yeah, so I decided to quit my job to learn that. But also at the same time, right, at Starknet Africa, we're looking at ways we could actually get more persons building stuff, because I think Starknet Africa was pre Paul created Starknet Africa sometime in like 2022. Since then, we've kind of like held like quite a lot of boot camps, right? And but there were really not like a lot of should I say Africans building like stuffs, right? And we're like, okay, how can we get them building stuffs? And I think there was only those then, and the idea was, okay, we're going to start projects and put them on so that people could contribute to it, right? So those knowledge you've gotten from the boot camps, let's try to practicalize it, contribute to real life projects. And we started a little team, then we called it the exploration team. And the idea was like to probably like mimic the thing the Stackware exploration team did. Of course, we're probably not going to operate at their level, but like something
Yes.
that's just try out something, yeah. And I think that's about it. We created a team, but we were having some little like commitment issues, right? Because everybody was really busy, and it was like, okay, we liked the ideas we're building out, right? So it was like, if we're going to like really build out these things, right, we get like an in-house team. So it's like, okay, let's hire a few persons. And that year, hiring a few persons meant, oh, right, this is turning into a company, right? So let's
Yeah.
properly brand it. And that was how. So I remember going to the group and we just posted, okay, what name should we come up with, right? So everything was just done very quickly. It was not like a planned vision
Yeah.
persist. So we went there, came up with name, decided, okay, her sounds it sounds Cairo like, the Egypt branding
Yeah.
and stuff. And yeah, I think that's about it. We just did brand identity, created Twitter channel, and we're like, oh yeah, so Horus Labs is life. And I think that's about it. Well, essentially the goal is to see how we can actually build out should I say products from Africa, right? Like build out really good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, thank you very much. You guys have been doing tremendous, because I had Paul Emmanuel on the show. I've also had a Kevin on the show, and they've all spoke highly of how the whole thing started. And it seems like you guys have done so much for Starknet Africa, but also like Starknet in general, because you guys were the reason why most of us came into the ecosystem. So just to buttress how good what you guys have done so far, how positively that it has impacted a lot of us. Um, Horus Lab, what would you say is the progress now? I know I just following your Twitter handle, I know recently Tokenbound was released, but that's the biggest buzz now. But that we'll talk about that later. But I think what I want you to throw a little bit light on now is Coloniz. What's Coloniz about?
I said, all right, so oh, I think that's plenty of questions you want. I'll try to answer them. All right, so
Right.
well, what else? What about progress looks like thus far? So I would say building like I guess building a company is very challenging. Building a startup is like pretty much it's way more difficult than I anticipated. I don't know what I was anticipating, Chavo, but yeah, it's pretty much like super difficult, right? A lot of challenges here and there, but it's pretty much also still a very interesting ride, right? The highs, they are just always highs and lows. They are really no middles, right? And today you're like, oh yeah, let's fucking go. Tomorrow you're like, oh crap, what am I even doing with my life? You know, this kind of stuff. And well, I would say we made pretty much a lot of progress, right? Because one of the reasons we started building Tokenbound, right, was I think sometime earlier last year it was like really trending. And we said, okay, we could actually bring this to Starknet, right? Then I think on Tokenbound we actually started building casts. So that's one of the reasons why we still like are really very pushing like Tokenbound forward, right? Is because it's like it's should I say it's at the core of like the major products we are building in this case, which is like Coloniz, right? So but I think Coloniz evolved from cast, so most persons probably know it as cast, right? So when we started building cast, it was like oh sorry, it was like we wanted to build something similar to Lens Protocol on Starknet, right? Like some
Mhm.
sort of like social centralized social graph on Starknet. And well, we started building, we built to but then we realized that okay, this does not really make a lot of sense from like a business perspective, right? Because if you're building like a if you're looking to build a business, you're looking to say, okay, can I scale this? Can I profit on this stuff like that, right? And when it comes to like social applications, you're trying to like you're looking at seeing how you can get I don't know millions of daily average users, right? For example, like think about like you're trying to build something on the scale of Twitter and all those, right? So we felt like, oh right, this was not really scalable per se. Plus there was also the issue of the whole idea of like decentralized social graphs, right? So it's like you're trying to we're trying to solve the existing problem in like should I say the Web2 world where like all the social platforms are isolated from each other and you can like port your profile. So these days like it's very difficult. For example, if I've built like a very huge following on Twitter, I would probably always stick to Twitter, right? Because like I can't really port those following from Twitter to let's say Instagram or any other social
Yeah.
media, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was the whole idea of building a decentralized social graph, something like where like you build infrastructures and people can build like social application support and but at the same time it felt like we're even creating more where like you're saying okay there's a lot of problems that or a lot of solutions that really do not like that do not really solve something, right? And you're saying, okay, let me create that one perfect solution. And then it goes to
Yeah.
maybe there were two solutions. And then now there are three different solutions. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, so it was like we're even creating more fragmentation rather than solving like the fragmentation issue we're trying to solve. And I
Yeah.
think that's how we kind of like evolved from there. So we were like okay, trying to answer the question, okay, how can we I don't know what can we do that people what unique problem can we solve, right? And that's how we like started building out Coloniz, right? So the idea of Coloniz essentially is like it's like a platform from where you can spin up like smart autonomous communities. And we already know like the whole craze that's going on with like on-chain AI agents, right? And of course like with the progress in artificial intelligence, there's like a lot of like should I say a lot of advantages or like simplifications it brings to like our daily life. So one of the things we've been looking at, right, is seeing how we can actually like should I say revolutionize the way like Web3 communities are built in particular, right? Because these days a lot of places like a lot of platforms or products or companies they utilize like Discord and Telegram for building like communities, and we feel like that's this platforms like the physical issues from like SEO to like it's very they don't really have very good indexing structure. It's difficult to like search for things. There's also the problem of let's say it's like a product that serves like maybe it's a developer focused community or maybe even a user centric community, right? There's also the problem of like having like active customer supports like to always like should I say attend to people's problems, right? Because let's say I come on maybe you have a Discord channel, Starknet Espresso, and maybe you're trying you have like a product people are using, right? And I come there and I'm asking, oh, I'm facing these issues using this, right? And I don't have anybody replying to me, right? It feels like you're not really serious
Yeah.
building, but
Yeah.
then it takes a lot of efforts, right? To like you're going to need like a lot of manual efforts to manage like huge communities. So there's how about we bring in agents, like agents to like simplify like the whole community management stuff. So these AI agents essentially can be trained on product documentations. They can also like learn from conversations happening within like should I say your community, right? And
Yeah.
evolve from there to answer questions better. So right now it's still like an idea we're toying with. We are currently like looking to probably release an MVP by early February, and more will probably like pass on more information as we go forward. Yeah.
Oh, great, great. Sounds like an elaborate project, I would say, and it's something that I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Yeah. Yeah. So, the big elephant in the room is Tokenbound. I mean, I've been looking at the Twitter channel. The V3 just launched. That was on Monday, and there's been so much buzz around it, especially around the ecosystem. There's been so much talk about Tokenbound. Let's start with, for those who don't know what Tokenbound is, can you just throw a little bit light on what Tokenbound is all about?
All right, so we consider talking about should I say the next evolution in like NFTs, what NFTs are really supposed to be, right? Because NFTs was I think launched sometime in I can't remember 2017, 2018, right? And since then
Yeah.
they've just been like this normal or this ordinary on change big, right? And they are like there's not a lot of things you could actually use them to do, right? And we feel like NFTs can actually like be better. So the idea of the compound is of the compound accounts, right? Of Stake 14, right? Is Stake 14 basically proposes a standard on Starknet to like should I say buying smart accounts to like NFTs. So think of it as like your NFT being its own personality on chain, right? Its own identity. So essentially it can do everything a smart wallet can do. It can hold assets, it can leave on-chain footprints, right? It can execute transactions, it can interact with dApps, it can do like basically all the things your smart wallet can do. And we see use cases like for Tokenbound and things like, for example, gaming. So let's say you're building an MMORPG game, something similar to like let's say Call of Duty, right? Oftentimes if the for example the character is an NFT, oftentimes you have like the NFT character, then you have like all these other things you accumulate in the game, and probably all these things are kind of like sent to your wallet. And there's really no way to like prove these things, right? But imagine if like your NFT is like a token-bound account, right? You can essentially like your character can actually evolve, and the evolution is just not recognized just within the game alone, right? But also because like everything, let's say the assets you pick up in the game, right? Probably the guns or whatever it is, the ammunitions, right? Your bullets, all those
Yeah.
things are stored within like the NFT in itself, the levels you upgrade, all those kind of things. And for example, you can easily sell that character. So let's say I spend time building like this character, I can maybe go to any marketplace, pyramid, elevate, and cool, put it for sale, right? And someone can buy it. So the value of the token bound or the NFT itself now is not just like a it's not just the NFT itself, but also all the assets contained in it, the levels and everything, all the progress it has made. So yeah, and you can also even do more stuff, right? Like take that NFT and maybe like there's like some sort of other like application which you can actually use it with, right? You can connect it to other, should I say, decentralized applications using like the Connect feeds. You can interact, you can execute transactions and like do like a whole lot of amazing stuff. So this helps like it helps like a whole lot. For example, with managing assets, and I think it just brings like should I say different phone perspective to like how NFTs are basically used. Yeah.
Okay, so just to be sure I get it correctly, primarily what Tokenbound does is it takes a particular NFT and then it ties it to an EOA, an externally owned account. Is that what?
No, no, an externally on the account. So we don't have externally on the account on Starknet. And of course, externally on the account, there's really like not a lot. They are not flexible, right? There are not a lot you can
Yeah.
do with them. So essentially it ties it to like a smart account. So you have
Okay.
like a smart account. So when we say Tokenbound accounts, they're essentially accounts that smart accounts that are controlled by the NFT. So the NFT has control of the account. The identity of the NFT is tied to like a smart account you use or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. It makes a lot more sense now. It makes a lot more sense now. So how can developers leverage this development in building dApps?
All right. So that's one of the things we've been really pushing, right? So the 14 itself is like I said, it's a standard that proposes this, right? But one thing we've done is like we've built a suite of tools around the compound. So apart from like the SDK, there are the contracts, for example. So let's say you have like a different, because the beauty of smart accounts is like they are flexible, right? So while we have like a canonical registry, so this is essentially how Tokenbound accounts work. So they are built to have like backward compatibility with existing NFTs that are ER721s,
Oh
right?
wow.
And
Yeah.
all you just need to do is you go to what we call the registry, you put in like an implementation hash. So the implementation hash is like a class hash that refers to like the account code you want to use, right? So you have an
Yeah.
account implementation you want to use, you pass that in, passing like the probably like the NFT ID, the NFT address, the token ID, and the lot more parameters, right? And you can deploy it to compound accounts for like that NFT. So the implementation account essentially is designed to be flexible. So with each one of the things we introduced, right, was like modular components. So this component essentially like are like building blocks. For example, you can add a lock feature. You can decide if you want to like add the feature to like be able to lock your account. You can decide, okay, I want to grant permission. So there's permissionable component that you can actually use to like grant permission to like other accounts to like execute transactions through your token bound account. There's like the different like the signatory component which has like a lot of implementations. You can decide, okay, do I want like every so another thing with token bound accounts also is you can have what we call nested accounts. So it's more or less like you have a token bound account. You have an NFT that owns a token bound account. And that token bound account can like contain NFTs. And those NFTs can also own token bound accounts, something like that. So when you do something
Oh,
like that, you begin to create like a nested account structure. And you can also do something like, let's say the account at the base, right? You can actually say that, okay, I want the base token bound account to also be able to like execute transaction through like let's say the nested to compound account. I know this might actually sound complicated, so just better to explain with the diagram. But yeah, so yeah, those like those are like they are quite like a lot of components, right? So you can decide if you want to make your compound account upgradable or not, right? So all these things are we decide to add these components, giving developers like the flexibility to decide okay what they want to build with. There's one. Secondly, there are SDKs, so as regards like how developers can use it, right? So
yeah.
let's say I'm building like maybe it's a giving application, maybe it's a social file application, and I want the let's say it's a social file application similar to what we're doing with Coloniz, right? And you want the profile to be like a token bound account, right? You have two ways of going about it. You can decide, okay, I want to like build my own custom account implementation. You can actually do that. Or if you want to use like the existing reference account implementation, you can just simply use the SDK to integrate it into like your application. So you have like a GS SDK you can actually use to like create a token-bound account, get a token-bound account. Most of all the functionalities contained within the token-bound account, you can let's say call them from like the SDK. We have the Connect kit also, which developers can actually integrate. So you want to like include support for like a token bound account on your dApp, right? You can just
Yeah.
simply add the Connect kit, and what the Connect kit does is enables like users to connect to decentralized applications using their token bound accounts, and yeah, I guess that's as much as I can. And of course, there's the iframe too, like for people building marketplaces, or you want a way to like actually like display your token bound assets within
Yeah.
like within within your tab, you can actually use the iframe to do that.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think we have like a reference video in house to this that was attached to like the launch tweet. So you can also check that out. So I don't know if I'm allowed to share my screen or something. Yeah.
What will happen is I'm going to include, I was even going to ask you because I know on the day of the launch, I saw how you were illustrating how to operate the Tokenbound account on your Twitter. I think it was on Horus handle. So what I'm going to do is I'm
Yeah.
going to include a link to the video just after this meeting. I'll include a link to the video so that anybody that comes in contact with this can always go to the video and see how it works.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Problem.
So another thing is how are there any feedbacks at the moment how users are enjoying what Tokenbound has done, the progress that Tokenbound has made? I'm wondering what the user experience is for people that are using it now.
All right. So I think the first I think that was like a few months ago. We did like a hackathon, and the idea was like, okay, to get dApps to build and like to integrate it, right, get feedback and see how we can actually like iterate from there, build like a better experience. And yeah, we did get like feedbacks, questions and stuff because it's like, should I say, pretty new, of course. So like there were like a lot of questions, like feedback, suggestions on how to like make it generally better. And that was why we created Victory, right? To implement most of all those feedbacks and stuff. So Victory is like should I say, a lot more production ready, right? It was also like audited by Cairo Security Cloud. And and yeah, I think thus far we've really not gotten any like negative like feedbacks from like people or developers currently integrated in it, right? Because I'd say like maybe I consider it come out to tools like a lot more focused on developers, right? Because if developers
Yeah,
integrate, then users can use, right? Something like that. So well, of course, like we just launched like a few days ago, so we
yeah,
are
true.
definitely still open to like any feedback, such as suggestions or stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, great, great. You mentioned this was what I was going to ask earlier. This is the launch is of V3. What has been the updates from previous versions? What are the major updates that people that have come in contact with it before should be looking at?
Oh, okay. So, as regards the major updates that's like came in V3. So the first is actually like I guess the modular components. With the previous versions, we had like should I say, we had this reference account implementation, and that was as much as you had available, right? There was really like no modularity like the previous one. So what we did with V3, right, is we broke like what we had previously into like should I say, into different components. So you have the choice to decide if I want to integrate this or not, if this fits my use case or not, which I think like a lot of developers are going to appreciate, right? And I guess also there's also the thing about like uh what was it called? We decided to remove like there was a dead function. So I would say one of the thing we are looking like to achieve long term, right, is to see how we can achieve like cost interoperability, right? Because there's the thing about around like the compound ecosystem on EVM chains, right? Where
Yeah,
you can actually use your Tokenbound account, let's say on Ethereum, right, to interact with like a dApp or Polygon, something like that, right? Which was
yeah.
achieved using layer zero. So we're looking to explore like interoperability or like opportunities for like Tokenbound accounts. And so that was why one of the things we did with V3 is we introduced like the chain ID and the state object to be able to like track chain ID and chains you on, track state updates and like a whole lot of other stuff. Then of course like there was a revamping of the Explorer. I think I know persons complained about like not being able to find stuff, right? With the previous version, so revamps the Explorer to be like a more user friendly, right? Better user
Yeah.
experience. Then yeah, then there's Connect Kit, which saw like a very major upgrade. So the last Connect Kit had like a lot of bugs, right? So the dev experience was really not very friendly, and integrating it was pretty much very complicated. So with V3, the Connect Kit is like very, very easy to integrate. We took our time to simplify like a lot of things, and it was like rigorously tested. So like and they are like very less built, so really not gotten any complaint or anything thus far, right? And well, there's also support for like the cartridge controller, which we also introduced, right? So it's been like I would say it's been like the I guess the biggest trend in like the gaming industry. A lot of games have like switched to using like the controller. So we did introduce the controller to ensure that we could actually like support the needs of like most games. And of course there are like the iframes which we also introduced. So the iframe essentially is like think of it as like our first move towards like a marketplace adoption for like Tokenbound. So the idea is we want to get to the point where you can actually like trade your Tokenbound account on like Starknet marketplaces like Pyramid, uh
Yeah.
um like Pyramid Element and Co, right? So if you want to trade your Tokenbound account, of course, you want to be able to like see the details like if you want to buy a Tokenbound account, you want to be able to like preview the Tokenbound account, the details like let's say the
Yeah.
assets contain the needs, the the if it's locked because something we one of the reasons why we introduced the lock feature, right, was to prevent marketplace fraud. So think of marketplace fraud as this. So let's say I'm trying to sell a Tokenbound account to you, right? And Tokenbound account has 10 Ethereum and maybe some other assets, right, which are very important to you. And that's the reason why, let's say you're going to be buying a Tokenbound account for, let's say, like 12 Ethereum. And during the process of that transaction trying to like take place, then I now send out what's it called? And I send out like let's say the 10 Ethereum and those assets you are looking to buy. Now I'm going to probably sell you just NFT with an empty account, right? And that would be unfair to you, right? And that's like
Yeah.
basically fraud. So the lock feature, what the lock feature does, right? So when you talk about accounts is locked, you can't really execute transactions straight. So you won't be able to like transact using Tokenbound account or send out assets from it within that period of time within which is locked. So with the
Oh,
iframe, you can actually preview most of all these things to ensure that okay, your Tokenbound account is like in the best state to actually like purchase it, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I
yeah.
think those are like some of like the major features we introduced Victory. And I think there's also an article in case anybody want to check out for that. I think you'll find most stuff on like the Medium article we wrote. Yeah.
Oh, it's really fascinating what you guys have done with token bound account, and it's something that I'm really looking forward to how it's going to pan out in the ecosystem. I see a lot of positives coming out from our conversation. Are there any things that we should be looking out in the future, particularly with token bound account? Are there other things that we should be looking out in the future?
Well, we do have like some stuff we have like going on in the background. So we have two major things we're researching, right? So the first essential is like interoperability, seeing how we can actually like achieve interoperability with like the Tokenbound ecosystem on EVM chains because right now it seems like we are if isolated is the word, right? So we're kind of like really isolated. So we're looking to see how we can actually provide like interoperability support with like existing stuff on the EVM chain. So it's one of the things we are looking to like achieve sometime next year. Although most of like our development efforts currently is focused on like seeing how we can get out an MVP for Coloniz by late January, early February. But once we have like an MVP out, it's one of the things we are looking forward to seeing how we can actually achieve interoperability for accounts. And yeah, something else which okay, maybe we can let's see, I'll just drop this as a hint, right? Because it's also part of think of it as part of the things we have in our pipeline, but we I still yet to do proper research on, right? Is the idea of Tokenbound agents. So we feel like Tokenbound account has like we always see, right? So we've gone from on-chain JPEGs to like them having their own identities. So the next step we're looking at is how to make them sentient. So by sentient, being able to like think for themselves and should I say like react to their environment, make decisions as we go. Like depending on things going on in their environment, stuff like that, right? So yeah, the idea of talk about agents. But like I said, for now it's just something in the pipeline, right? Well, it's something we are
Yeah.
looking forward to exploring. Yeah, so yeah, I guess these are two major things I would highlight here.
Yeah, great. I would really say it's exciting what you guys have. part in this project. I'm really looking forward to how it comes out, and I wish you guys all the best as far as this project is concerned. Just before we wrap
Yeah.
up, we're supposed to talk a little bit about Horus Lab, but I had Kelvin last on the show, and he talked so much. That's basically why I thought it made more sense to concentrate more on Tokenbound, the product, and its success. But for Horus Lab, are there anything else that we're expecting from Horus Lab, say in the nearest future? Should we be looking out for more products?
Oh, well, I think for now, like I said, Coloniz is like our next major product. So, uh, all development efforts currently are like, should I say, focused on getting Coloniz out into like the market, and probably once that is out, so you would definitely like start looking towards other things, right? Of course, like I mean, when your product is out, that's like the first step. There's going to be like a lot towards like a lot of like efforts dedicated towards like managing it and making it like responding to like market sentiments, trying to make it better and stuff like that. But yeah, so I think for now it's mostly going to still really be around most of for the negative, should I say the for most of next year is really the most of like Horus Labs is going to release mostly be focused on like should I say Tokenbound Accounts, Colonies, and yeah, Starknet Scaffold, which I forgot about. Yeah, so yeah, just those three products for now. Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's really been an amazing session with you, and I'm really excited about everything that you talked about and what the future holds for Horus Lab and all the projects that come out from there. Just before we wrap up, just in case our audience would like to follow up on you and follow up with what you're doing in Horus Lab and you as a person, how can they reach out to you?
Oh, sure. You can always find me on Twitter at Darlington. You can follow Horus Labs Twitter at Horus Labs IO. And if you want to reach out to me on Telegram, it's Darlington 68. I think those are like the two major places you can like have access to me also.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much for being on Starknet Espresso today. I really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. Have an amazing day. Cheers.
All right. Thank you so much, Darlington, for joining us on today's episode of Starknet Espresso. It's been an insightful and exciting episode, I must say. I can't wait to see what the future holds for Tokenbound account and of course Coloniz, generally for Horus Labs. To all our listeners, I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes like this. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, keep innovating. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.